I believe in life, you gotta celebrate your successes and your failures, but today I'm celebrating a success in progress. It feels like a lot of months worth of hard work all throughout the summer while I was traveling are really starting to pay off. Yesterday, a newer store that only started about a month ago did nearly $12,000 in sales. I want to break down a little bit of, first of all, what I do, what this is, how I do it, and I'm going to explain exactly the margin behind that business model and how I structure all of it. All right? You again. Hey, what's going on everyone? Hayden here, coming back at you with a brand new video. And if you haven't already, make sure to drop a like down below real quick. I would greatly appreciate it because in this video, I'm gonna show you everything behind this. I want to be as transparent as possible. So I'm going to explain what this store is, kind of how I had it structured, what I was really looking for in the product side of things, how I scale it. We'll touch on the ads really quick. I know that can get very technical super fast, but I also want to explain the margin behind it. I'm going to show you screenshots, exactly what my ad spend was, kind of how I process all of that and how I deal with it, as well as the product cost and the profit margin, because as some of you might know, this number is not profit, okay? Whenever someone shows you this, don't be fooled. This is not profit. It just simply is not. So before we get into this, I know a lot of people have still been asking this question. First of all, if you have not seen the last video, go ahead and check it out because it was a much more in-depth breakdown from a beginner perspective. But people keep asking me what I do for a living, kind of what my income streams are. And I hadn't made a video since like 4 or 5 months ago when I was in Thailand talking about my different income streams. So maybe I'll do something updated and more in depth on that. However, this specifically is e-commerce. Now, it's not just drop shipping. I'm going to explain exactly what this store specifically is, but e-commerce is my single biggest income stream. Contrary to what people might think, they think it's this or that or the education company or software. Those are not as large as e-commerce. So for me, e-commerce has been my main focus for 4 years. It is the thing that, for me, allows me to do this from a different wavelength. I know a lot of people on YouTube, whether it's just in the e-commerce space or other places, they're doing this from a financial perspective. The thing is, I could step away from this if I chose to do that, and I could just run my e-commerce businesses, right? I could be completely ghost, and I've thought about it before. I could be that person where young, successful, doing their thing, building companies, and nobody knows who you are. And at points that sounds attractive, but at the end of the day, this allows, this specifically allows me to do this from just a fun perspective whenever I want, being able to help people. So that's the main focus. Inside of here, again, I'm going to show you that. I want to break this down first. So this is on the Shopify app for those who don't know. Hopefully the screen will focus here real quick. So this is yesterday specifically on this one store. Now, again, this is a newer store. It is something I've been working on. So we're going to jump over to the monthly so that you guys can take a look. You can see what time it is. It's like 3:30 in the day so far. So today so far is coming up. This store specifically, as you can see it being grown, it was still going on for about 2 weeks outside of this graph. That is just so far this month in whatever month it is, October. So that for me has been a good chart because the thing with e-commerce, I'm going to explain exactly the product, the margin, everything. The thing with e-commerce, when you're building something, and this is purely with Facebook ads, it takes time. It takes time to get momentum, make sure you have a winning product, and get all that stuff rocking and rolling, right? So for me, one of the things I focus on is building data on my pixel, and I don't like to do that very quickly. 1 month to go from like nothing to this in a month is still quick. That's still fast to me. However, I still like to kind of, I don't like to risk a lot of money. From when I was first starting e-commerce to now, even though the money coming in has changed, the way that I test still hasn't because it works so well for me and it makes me comfortable, okay? So this is really cool because as you can see on the main graph, literally had a double. It went from 6,100 or 6,200, whatever, to nearly $12,000 yesterday. So far today, it will scale further because, it's only 3 o'clock and we're already at past 10,000. Yesterday I estimated today to be in the, about like the 14 to 16,000 category. So I expect to hit that. Now, this one specifically is this drop shipping. This is what's funny. This is so new that I'm still drop shipping. I actually 3 hours ago, it was actually 4, it was about like 10:45. I got on a call with one of my buddies, and we're going through and setting up a lot of manufacturing for multiple of our brands, multiple of our stores. And I'm trying to loop this one in because the problem is, it's not really a problem, but this is still drop shipping. So for those of you who don't know, drop shipping is where you're just sourcing it product by product. Every order gets fulfilled one by one and sent from the manufacturer, usually in China, to the customer. Except there's a couple of problems with that. It is cheaper pricing most of the time. It's not expensive by any means, but your shipping time can take a long time. Your packaging might have Chinese letters on it. It might even have the receipt in there. So there's things that we do to avoid it. Ours is not stupidly long shipping on this store with this one main product that I'm selling. It's only really one product. That right there is about 10 to 14 days. So it is under 2 weeks from when they place the order to when they get the product. So it's not ridiculously long like your standard drop shipping, but it's funny because nothing is really properly set up for this. Right now, I'm just going through and finally getting processor accounts set up for this one specifically, because I always want to make sure that the product is working and there's a lot of profit and sales coming in and it's growing before I go put time into that, before I go and put time into getting quotes from the suppliers, which is what I'm doing right now. There's 2 suppliers sending me quotes. I want to start ordering this in advance and getting custom packaging. So right now it's just basic packaging, and we were able to put our logo on it, like a little small thing, but it's just a sticker that's on there. So it's not really too intense. But for this right now, this is something where I'm just super focused on growing the sales. But right now, there hasn't really been any issues. The chargeback rate is next to nothing, refund rate next to nothing. People love it. And I'll explain how I found the product in a second. But I now have to take a step back, contrary to like my marketing and advertising, senses. I have to take a step back and work on the company behind this. Like this specific store that is going to be a brand, is turning into a brand. I have to take a step back from just trying to get as many sales as possible, which is working when I focus on it. And I have to start putting these other things in place. Like I want like 5 to 7 day shipping, right? I want very custom packaging. I want my logo on the product. And the thing is, I don't want to say it's a clothing product because it's not, but it's it has fabric, and I want our logo stitched into each product. That's going to cost a little more, so that's why it's taken a while to get all the quotes from the suppliers. But that is, something. Oh, there we go. That's something that will allow this to grow even further long term. For me, I'm an advertising guy. I like ads. So for what I'm doing on this is strictly Facebook. Meaning, I'm sitting. It's actually right there. It's funny enough. That computer, which was hooked up to my laptop, that big monitor, is what I sat down yesterday going through for 4 hours, and the day before, like 6 hours, is what allowed this store to double. So really focusing on those ads, starting to put in my scaling strategies, and I was only able to go through about 10% of the ads and start going through aggressive scaling, and that alone allowed this to double. So, just to kind of, again, keep things as transparent as possible with what I'm trying to do, the day before yesterday on the sales chart, when it was only at 6, I said the goal for tomorrow is 10,000. Smashed that, right? I sat there for like 7 hours, did my ads, did my thing, made sure that I did enough stuff so I could get it there. And it ended up, it actually kind of upset me because I really thought it was going to break 12 when we were like 2 or 3 hours from the end of the day. And it just didn't. It ended up slowing down right there, which is no big deal. But, that's what allowed me to really focus on it and do it. So just kind of sitting there, being very focused. And this product specifically, this one just by itself, actually, let me give you my target for next month, by the way. Next month, which will be the month of November, which, keep in mind, this is a really hot time of year. In November, you have Black Friday. I think Cyber Monday is still looped into that. It's all these things around the holidays really, really starting to move. So next month, I want to bring this to $1 million. Next month, that's the target for this specific store. And in that time, I definitely want, like by the first week of November, to be in a good position with more of the branding side of things, having the first batch of inventory coming in, just so I can really start accelerating that and kind of gauging how many sales we're going to get and order volume based on that. So that's that. Now, as for the product, I know people want me to touch on this. First of all, you can sell anything, okay? You really can, just about any product. And if you want to jump back on our channel, if you're struggling to find a winning product, you can go back a few videos. I made something actually giving you multiple products, like legitimate products that have made me millions of dollars in sales, some of which hundreds of thousands, and I've scaled them at different levels. But those are winning products. And I also showed you a couple of things behind what I look for. So this one is not a Christmas store. It is not something that's seasonal or cyclical. It's a problem-solving product, which is one of the types of things, besides just an impulse purchase that I really look for when I'm trying to build a brand. You know, there's a need around it. There's going to be a community built around this. Eventually, I want to start doing my strategy for branding, which is where I bring in influencers. We do custom content. We grow the Instagram. We grow the Facebook. So it's been working well from a marketing perspective and an advertising perspective. But now it's time to take a step back and do the things on the end of like actually building out that company. So what I want to do right now, you know, because my whole goal with this is, you know, I want to just keep growing it. Everything I'm doing, this is just one store. This is not my main brand. This is not even my main store that I'm focusing on. This right here, though, is a thing that over the last 3 days, I've put the most amount of time into. So it's kind of fresh on my mind, all these ideas swirling and everything. So I wanted to kind of jump on here and share it because so many people have been asking questions. I posted a screenshot of it on my story and it triggered a whole lot of questions. So that's kind of why I wanted to jump on here. But what I want to do is if you guys have any questions at all, you know, anything you've been concerned about or anything you're trying to get help with, go ahead and drop it in the comment section down below. And if there's anything really in depth that you're trying to get, you know, any sort of assistance with, write it down. And in 2 days from when this video is posted, so hopefully you're seeing this quickly. If not, no big deal. But on Friday, okay, right now is Wednesday when I'm posting this. On Friday, I'm going to do a live stream here on YouTube. I'm going to put together a quick presentation going through some tips, some tricks, advice, things that I'm doing that are working right now, you know, covering some mistakes that I've made so that you guys don't make those as well. I just want to help you out and assist you as best as possible. So if you have any questions, yeah, feel free to let me know either on that live stream or here in the comment section on this video. I'll probably be replying to the comments up until the live stream, okay? So just to touch on it one last time with the product end of things, because I know that's going to be a main question. I don't primarily use AliExpress unless I can get a really, really good deal on pricing, okay? The main way that I start out drop shipping is I want to start making sure that product is working and I want to make sure the store is profitable and growing consistently, okay? Once it's there, which is what this is at right now, then I go to private suppliers and hold inventory. But before that, it's drop shipping. Now, most of that over the last 3 months is off of Silk Road, which you guys can check out. I'll leave it linked below. It's actually my good friend Jared's company. The reason that I mention that is because, you know, I've been using AliExpress for almost 4 years. 4 years. That's a lot of time. 4 years. And it's been good. You know, you do have issues with like the packaging, sometimes the shipping time. But the main thing there is the pricing. At the end of the day, I mean, I can get around having 2-week versus 3-week shipping. It's not a big deal. At that point, just let the customer know as long as you're upfront and honest about it. But the thing for me is margin, okay? Because right now, I want to show you the margin on this store, okay? So from when this screenshot was taken on the roughly $12,000 a day, take a look at this. I'm going to put up this whole big screenshot, okay? In the bottom left, and I'm not looking at it right now, so I'm doing this based on memory, you're going to see the ad spend. In that second column over at the top, you're going to see the revenue, okay? Kind of similar to that, COG. This is your cost of goods. That's how much the product costed us. And keep in mind, this, by the way, is ordermetrics.io. So many people ask me this every time I show it on Instagram. But these are the product costs based on what they're sourcing from the Silk Road, which again is kind of a sourcing agent platform I use. And the main thing I'm looking for is just decent shipping time, and I'm looking to get the best product cost, okay? At the end of the day, it really comes down to your margin. As you can see in the bottom right corner, you can take a look at what the profit margin was. It is very, very high for something that is being scaled aggressively. I just doubled the ad spend. You know what? I'll throw up the one from the day before. Take a look at this, compare the numbers, okay? This is the one from the day before. Take notice of the revenue, take notice of the ad spend, and notice of the profit, okay? Not just the profit number. I know people like looking at sales, but look at the actual percentage, okay? It didn't have that big of a drop. And now the way that scaling aggressively works, you're gonna have your ad spend go up, your revenue is gonna go up, your product cost is gonna go up, your margin is gonna go down a little bit, and your profit is going to go up sometimes. It's not always guaranteed. You're trying to find more winning ad sets or campaigns. So that's what I'm focusing on, and the fact that this is responding to what I'm doing so well, especially with only touching on 10%, I don't really have any doubt that I can smash $1 million in sales next month, which would be super cool to do on like a newer store, you know, really building out that brand. And that would just be a huge influx of customers in like my base of customers that I could then really use for retargeting and just like, you know, building out those lookalikes with those audiences much better as we move into 2020 when things start to slow down just a little bit from being on kind of the hot streak run of Q4, okay? So that's kind of the full breakdown on that. I know it's kind of all over the place. I've literally just been working. I was on that call this this morning. I've been like running ads ever since for my other brand, just trying to get everything rocking and rolling. It's been a stressful and hectic time of the year, so I do look forward to kind of carving out an hour or two on Friday to do that live stream. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and drop a like if you're gonna be there. Let me know if you guys are gonna be there. I'm super excited to have a conversation with you, and if you have any questions or scenarios that you want me to play out or go through, definitely let me know. Write it down so you don't forget. And again, if you have any questions off of this specifically with this store, the profit margin and what I just explained, please do leave it in the comment section down below. I would be so grateful if you guys did drop that like. I'm gonna remind you one more time, I want this video to smash 1,000 likes. I think we've been averaging like 500 to 900, so we're super close. Help me out if you could. That'd be great if you could help me get there. And with that being said, I'll see you on Friday in the live stream. Peace.